there, partakers. How was your week? Well, if your week was bad, don't worry. We have another week that you can change things and make things better. But if your week was good, I'm so proud of you. Keep shooting for the stars even this next week. Well, it's our time now. It's time for us to interact, just talk to each other. And on this show, if you're new, what we do here is just discuss food and how food can help us, what's healthier and what's not, so that we can live a more healthy and fulfilling life. My name is Amanda. I am a nutritionist and I also do host this show. So welcome. Let's do our food throne right about now. So in our food throne today, we're going to discuss fish, and particularly the smoked fish or dried fish. So fish is one very, very good quality protein food that you can have. Like, its protein is really good and it would help with your muscle, development, muscle growth, muscle repair, and also when it comes to wound healing. Fish is also awesome because it has very lovely oils that the body actually needs. So if you've heard of the word fish oils or omega-6, omega-3 oils, that's what fish also has in plenty. And you need that for your brain's health, you need that for your heart health. So if you're trying to even for those that are trying to lose weight, you would want to actually incorporate good oil or good fat that comes from fish to replace the bad fat that originally has been in your body system. So weight loss, better memory. That's why they used to tell us to eat fish when we were younger if you want to be the first in class, because it has really good oils for the brain. So you might want to include that, not only for the young ones because they are school going, but even for us, the adults, even for the old people that might be having, diseases they're dealing with, whether neurological or, brain diseases or disorders. You really want to add fish in there just to improve symptoms, just to make sure that you are managing the diseases quite well. So everyone should have fish, whether you are sick or not, old or young. But one downside to fish, because we have to be realistic about these foods, they have great qualities, but they also have downsides. So some people are actually allergic to fish, and you might want to be very careful around those that are allergic to fish, so you don't end up giving them life-threatening situations, maybe where they get suffocated. Another downside is, fish has bones, and also those could be a choking hazard or something that would choke, especially the young ones that may not know how to eat it. So you might want to always sort it out for them. Even for those that are sick and are not able to chew food well or eat food right, don't assume that they'll be able to sort out the smallest bones in their in their fish, in their mouth. You might want to also again do that, sort it out for them. For those that are using catheters and those tubes to actually feed, you might want to also sort this out really well for them as you make their meals. So those are the downsides, but otherwise fish is something that everyone should have. Now that we are done with talking about fish, let me let you know how you can join me on my social media homes, because it's from there that we go into our next segment, which is a discussion room. Everyone sends in their questions and we just get to discuss and also highlight the lessons that we learn from everyone's important questions. So these are the social media platforms that you can get to me on. On Instagram, it's Food Witness, that's my handle. On Facebook, there's a Facebook page and its name is Amanda Twewaze-Nutritionist. On YouTube, I also do have a YouTube channel with, I think, content that would really help inspire you for more health and wellness. The YouTube channel name is Amanda Twewaze-Nutritionist. My email, if you have some really great nutrition proposals that you'd like us to discuss, is amanda.chichoncho@gmail.com. And for those that are WhatsApp kind of people, you can send in your WhatsApp directly and I'll be sure to respond when I can. The WhatsApp number is 0782152610. So get subscribing, get following, get liking those pages, and yeah, let's keep in contact. So now we're going into our discussion room. In the discussion room, Esther starts us off and she says, when I eat beans, I have stomach disorder with a lot of gas. So I'm guessing she's asking what she can do. For this kind of shows us that beans might actually be bringing you what we call irritable bowel syndrome. It gives you those symptoms like you feel gassy. Sometimes people will feel pain, other times people will get diarrhea, others will get constipation. It manifests differently, but here's what you can do with the beans. You seem to love your beans from the way you talk, so maybe try and eat them a little differently. Instead of having beans alone like that, maybe you might want to smash them and have soup instead of having the beans with their husks. You might want to probably add gas relieving herbs into your bean sauce as you make your bean sauce, say like black pepper in there, or have some garlic, or have some thyme in there, just so that it counteracts, you know, the effects of this these beans. You might also want to make sure that you probably take a herbal tea before eating this bean sauce, or after, say like green tea or ginseng tea, very good ones for calming our stomachs down, just so that you're able to deal with these beans. And if you find that those don't help, how about you just give beans a break for a while, and then you can get back to them, you know, once in a while. Is there anything that can help reduce breast size and a wide back? You know, some things are dictated by genetics, like how our physics are. Yes, you can dictate how big or how small you get by, you know, being physically active, for example, the foods that you eat, but also your kind of, should I say, the form, like the structure that comes out is really genetically generated. So some things we cannot change, and that's what we talk about a lot on this show. For the things that you can't change, please embrace them and love yourself like that. But for the things that you can't change, please work on those. It's very important that you do work on those. So as much as genetics plays a big role in our form and our shape, now like for having a wide back, your bone structure might be that type that is of, you know, heavy, big bones. So that's just it for you, but you could improve you know, your body shape maybe by toning, say using toning exercises. Some really good ones that I've seen that work is, you know, toning tables. We have some toning tables in Kampala around here. You could also use things like you know, squats or weights that help you to lift and just, you know, firm up the body so that it's not a wide back that's saggy, and, you know, it just looks toned. So you might want to tone your body instead of trying to focus on changing things, because you're not going to cut your bones up, are you? Your back is wide. That means you have, you know, a big bone structure, so you can't cut your bones up. Because of that, just try and tone your body so, you know, the waist is well defined, the hands are also well defined, not with cellulite and all that. So just change the things that you can, as opposed to focusing a lot on those things that, you know, try and make us insecure, yet they make us different. Let's head on to our third question soon, that's coming in from Akandinda Ernest. So Akandinda Ernest says he's trying to figure out how to hydrate as he trains for a marathon. Now, marathons are really long runs that, you know, you have to have endurance for, because that's what it really takes to finish a marathon. But as you do these marathons, of course, hydrating is very important, because there's a lot of mineral loss as you're, you know, running these marathons. There's a lot of water loss as well. And so one very good way to keep hydrated is, of course, drink your water. But you also need to make sure that you have also times when you have water that has electrolytes in them, because these minerals are what keep your muscles functioning well. They keep your brain coordination right, so, you know, you don't end up getting confused or end up collapsing as you're doing the marathon. So you need to have also good you know, glucose levels as well. So you might want to add in some glucose, you know, some lemon, some lime, some ginger, because there are minerals that will seep into that water. But you can also get already made electrolyte drinks like Gatorade, I think. It might not be very common, but it's available as well. So you might want to make sure that you have an electrolyte drink that has, you know, your salts in there. It has your minerals like potassium, you know, phosphorus, calcium, because those are very important. If you don't have those, then you're not going to finish your marathon, right? You'll actually strain so hard and end up not even achieving the goal of finishing that marathon. Now we're going into our fourth question, coming in from Stina Tina. Stina Tina asks, what products can help me focus on great organic skin? Here's a very good way to start learning about what organics actually mean. Organics mean those foods or products that are less contaminated with artificial, you know, ingredients. So you're looking for things that are more close to natural. And one really good way is to look into your home and your kitchen and what's around you in the compound, for example. Because when you start doing your own skin remedies is when you start to learn, oh, this really works well for my skin. Just like starting as simple as drinking water, you'll find that that really helps. As simple as making sure you have an extra face wash during the day, as simple as putting avocado on your skin, you know, something that is natural. So let's look at the simple things around us. Once you start doing that, you'll figure out that there's a lot of nature that actually supports our skins. So, you know, look out for garlic, for example, that's in your kitchen that I know you use all the time. You know, cinnamon, there's honey, there's charcoal, there's clay. I mean, there's things all around us that we can use, but we're always being duped into thinking we need to run to the supermarket and buy the next skin product, you know, so we can have better skins. And yet, the real ingredients for your skin are in these natural foods. Our last question is coming in from Okiza Kennedy, and he was asking, do raw onions help with improvement of eyes? Well, for onions, they do have a lot of vitamins in them, and we know those have an effect, an antioxidant effect on our bodies, even in our eyes, of, you know, just protecting us from cell damage, but also because the ingredients in onions actually have antimicrobial activity, so they fight against, you know, microorganisms or bacteria that might want to come and cause infections for us and, you know, just sicken our eyes. Because of that, that makes them qualify to help us improve our eyes and, you know, just keep our eyes or maintain our eyes integrity. So yes, onions are great. I know they make us tear as we are chopping them, but they do repay us at the end of the day, because when we eat them, then you're able to have, you know, just your body structure feeling good and dealing with these infections good, and it does the same for the eyes. So that ends our discussion room. We're now going into the take of the week and just hear what you know, that special one person has to say that came from the Facebook page. So our take of the week is coming in. It's interesting that it's coming in from the same person that asked about onions and eyes, Oxisa Kennedy. He's also a very ardent you know, follower of the Facebook page, and he participates quite a bit in there. Thank you so much for your time, Kennedy. And he was asking, this is basically what he says. I think we were talking about on the Facebook page about the pressure that's put on women to give birth, even when sometimes they may not be ready. And this is what he says: why should you care about society? And that may seem like just a bland, you know, statement, but when you really look into it, it's kind of telling you to, you know, be confident in the decisions you make for yourself, especially if you know that those decisions are for your wellness and for your own good. Please do not care about public perception, because at the end of the day, they don't really know what's happening on the inside of you. You know yourself best. You can only be the best doctor to you can only be you. The best nutritionist to you can only be you. I can only help you from the outside, but I'll not be the one to do the work for you on the inside. And I'll not really know in depth what's actually happening to you on the inside. And that's why you shouldn't care a lot about society. Yes, listen to advice. Someone who doesn't listen also becomes a foolish person, and you don't want to be that kind of person. So listen to advice, but filter that advice, because not all of it works for you. So just know that you know, if society has a perception, yes, that's all right, but you also do have your own opinion and your own perception of your life and what you think is best for it. So, you know, just find a way to balance what advice you get vis-a-vis, you know, what really works for you. Because when you figure out what really works for you, that's the most important thing you'll ever do for yourself in terms of self-care and self-love. And that's the thing that is going to help you flourish and, you know, just nourish yourself, whether it's via your food or via your brain or via your body. You really need to think about what do you really want, and also what do you really need as a person, aside what people are talking. Yeah, so that ends our take of the week, coming in from Kennedy. Thank you so much. Our wellness quote today is very simple, very short. It says, eat light and stay light. So if you want to have a healthy weight, you know, if you even feel, you know, there's a way you can feel heavy on the inside when you've had too much food, say at one go, or you've had very fatty foods, or that feeling you get when you've had maybe cassava and beans in the afternoon, there's that sluggishness it gives you. You know, your stomach is heavy, you're feeling drowsy most of the time. You're really slow at that point. It's because of the kind of food you're eating. So you need to also eat light foods, like eat small foods in small proportions, not baby portions, but you know, smaller proportions than you have. Also choose foods that keep things running in your digestive system, so that it's easier for you to feel light, and trust me, you will also look light. You will not have excess fat that you don't need. You'll not head on to obesity. You'll actually have a healthy weight if you do eat light. So focus a lot on your vegetables, eat smaller food quantities, don't forget your water, drink your tea, have coffee once in a while, have your wine once in a while. Just eat light. Don't have to overindulge in things, and we don't have to abuse our food. Well, that was the wellness quote. So we're done with the show. Sad moment, but also a very great moment, because I did enjoy myself during this show. Did you enjoy yourself? If you did, I know you'd want to connect with me. So until next week, let's keep talking on our social media homes. Until then, see you. Bye-bye.